morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching this. Thanks for watching, although we are recording live at our usual 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And in tonight's live stream, I thought we are going to talk about a couple of things while we're waiting for Apple IIgs parts to come in. And the title of today's stream is Floppy Disks and an OptiPlex. Now, for our Apple IIgs, it came with 5¼ inch disk drives. It came with a 3.5 inch disk drive, 800K for Apple. Wanted some original media, original type media. Now there are emulation solutions that are out there that allow you to use USB sticks or micro SD or SD cards to emulate the original media subsystem of the retro computer you're using. It doesn't matter whether it's Apple II, Retro Mac, Commodore, and even original PC. But I've always been a stickler for using floppies with the original retro systems that you're interested in. So, but one thing that I have discovered, especially since getting back into retro almost 11 years ago now, is that there still is quite a bit of 5¼ inch, 3.5 inch, both double density and high density available out there. Got some that are going to go through and just show you really quick some of my recommendations on what to look for, what to buy if you can find it. Some of it is starting to go up in price, but still others you can find inexpensively from people who are maybe liquidating estates or liquidating old warehouses of stock. My preference from in my experience is, of course, 3M. If you can find a shrink-wrapped box of 3M media, you're golden. Now, this is the double density stuff that we ordered for. It says formatted IBM, but we'd reformat it for the Apple IIgs. The 3M stuff is very, very good, reliable after all these years. I mean, when is the last time you saw any media made in the United States? So that just gives a demonstration of, how how old it is. But you'll find that the quality of the discs are good even after all this time. They'll format, read, and write reliably. I have a couple of boxes of the 5¼ inch stuff for the original IBM PC. Another box that I wanted to go out there and buy, and my experience, my memory might be skewed. It was a sub-brand of Verbatim called Bonus. Had that in my grade school, my high school, never seemed to have too much trouble with these. So I thought, you know what, we'll get a box that we'll use when we get the Apple IIgs up and running when we do the media day. Actually open these up, find my box cutter here, get the shrink wrap at least cut. Well, what the hell, I'll just rip it right off. So here is the 3M stuff. Of course, back before 3M spun off their magnetic media division into a different company called iMation. Maybe remember those. And of course, we've got the labels. We'll just take a peek and see what the labels look like. I've got an idea. Yeah, these kind of remind me from that long ago, and the adhesive still seems to be intact. I'm not sure if I would use the labels on the discs or not. And then what does it say? To remove film band, pull tab on back side. Oh, so it looks like, all right. They were all bound together. And Studio Cat chiming in from across the way there. Okay. So let's see what we actually got. So we've got the 3M. Of course, the shutters are labeled, formatted IBM, but that's okay. Yeah. Let's take a look at the bonus discs. So unless something does happen, hopefully now that we have the magic smoke back in the Apple IIgs, we're not going to have any more surprises. Although we will have a live stream coming up this Sunday where we hopefully get the battery conversion kit for the 2GS in there. And our wind-up clock here in the studio apparently is a little bit slow. We'll have to adjust the time for that later. So, okay, let's look at we've got the box of bonus by Verbatim. And it's not like the 3M. I do like the 3M boxes better where, the top just slides off. But we'll open up this box and see what we have. Yes, these look familiar, don't they? If you're familiar with these, have been familiar with this type. And, yep, definitely familiar. They had the labels already on the disc. You didn't really have a choice. It came on the disc whether you wanted it or not. And as I mentioned, it says we'll probably use all of these when we're making media with the 2GS. So that's my recommendations. If you're looking for original media, you want to stick with the original disk drives that come with your retro computer. You'll want to find either 3M all the way around, whatever platform you're using, or if I can get if I can find it here. This is some actual manufactured by IBM. These are the 2 meg high density discs. They also made low density for the Model 25 and the Model 30. So 3M, original IBM, not licensed by a third party, and then just, the IBM name got stuck on that. Or Verbatim. From my experience, that's been good. Anybody else will tell you is there are probably other manufacturers out there who have made really good media years ago that's still working well to this day. If you can find that, buy that. So now that we've gone through the discs, this was a piece that I remember working on in my career in tech support and education, although the model that I worked on was bigger than this, but it's the Dell GX110 desktop. It came in several form factors. It came with the small desktop, which was this. Then it came with a mid-sized desktop, which had room for 2 5¼ inch drive bays stacked on top of each other, and then the disk drive. And then you had a full tower, which was 3 drive bays inside. So we're going to pry the cover off of this thing, and we'll get a look at what's inside of here. have to take the camera off the tripod, but that's okay. We'll do that. So we have the 5 1/4, which is their, I think this was like an 8X CD-ROM. We have the Dell custom floppy drive. We have, I think this is a, yep, 20.5 gigabyte quantum spinning rust hard drive. Then we have, it's a Pentium 3 processor. The motherboard on here had the custom expandable backplane depending on the type of form factor was. So with this being small desktop, it only has 3 PCI slots. If it was the mid-size, it had 5, and then if you were using the full tower, you again ended up getting like 6, and a combination of some ISA slots in with it. You see we've got the standby light there. There's only 256 megs of RAM. Whoops, can't really see it well. In here on one slot. And for this, for doing this, that's okay. So we're gonna put the camera back on the tripod and see if we can get this started up. So it's running BIOS 80A Alpha 05, which I remember is not the original or the latest version of the BIOS that they released before they discontinued. But yep, 3.5, 1.4, no zip support. Auto, the 20.5 gigs. The boot, we're going to boot off of CD-ROM, disk, and the hard drive. It is normal speed. Yeah, 1 gigahertz Pentium 3. It has built-in sound card. I don't remember what sound it emulates. I think it is some form of Sound Blaster emulation. It has a 3-COM network interface card that does have MBA, but it doesn't have Pixie. USB emulation, which I am going to turn on because what I have discovered in setting this up is the IBM PS2 mouse that I have, the PS2 port. The plastic sheathing around the port is actually too big for the port, so I can't use it. So I found my Logitech USB mouse that may or may not work. I have the dongle plugged into the back of the machine. Both serial, it's got 2 serial ports, parallel port, all that stuff is turned on. So integrated devices, you know, the IRQs, IRQ reservations, the system security, keyboard and unlock. There's no F12 will try to boot it off of the network. It won't do it. There's no diagnostics. There is Windows 2000 installed on here, but it's original to the machine. I don't know what's on it. We are actually going to wipe the drive. What was that, Studio Cat? You don't want us to do that right now? I guess we won't. So that's today's live stream. What media, what floppy disk should you buy if you're looking to get media? We've looked at this OptiPlex GX110, the small desktop. In a future video, you might actually wipe this and do something else with it. But until then, hope you'll go back and check out our collection of previous live streams and what we have in the other videos we have coming up. As long as it gets here on time, we're going to do a live stream this upcoming Sunday. We're going to put a battery replacement into the 2GS because the motherboard that we have does not have an actual battery socket on the motherboard. It's something that's soldered in that we have to snip out. So stay tuned for that. And then the week after that, we're going to hook up ADT Pro using our really old Dell laptop to make some media, some original, well, make some media for the Apple IIgs, get some ProDOS, some GSOS, and then hopefully some print shop, Broderbund print shop on there so we can try printing a color ribbon with our image writer. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking. And please check out our Patreon and please consider becoming a patron. See you in the next video.